It's not sinking for you.
Well, hell yeah, it's sinking, but
Did it?
a little bit.
Yeah,
It
but
is what it is.
so we could kind of like go with it if mine sinks because I got the height. But if your shit sinks,
I'll just do this right here.
You're gonna be under
Yeah,
the
look
table.
how short I look, bro. Fuck it. We gonna do it. Was that a height? Was that a height joke? Cool, bet. We starting off right. So here we are, bro. We're at
good?
with the Bank on 8th, it's called.
The Bank
at
on
your
8th.
restaurant.
Yes, sir.
Secretos De Mis Abuelos.
We're here. About damn time.
I don't like how short I look on this, but
It is what it is, bro. You kind of just gotta accept what God gave you, and that's that.
vertically challenged, horizontally gifted, they say, right? But before we dive into the restaurant stuff,
Yeah.
first, thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. As
Appreciate
soon as I asked you, you were all about it, so that's dope.
Always.
Tell us a little bit about what led to the restaurant. What led to Secretos? What led to who's the man behind the picture?
All right, good question. Well, a little bit about me. I'm Felipe Crespo, 31-year-old Puerto Rican man. Raised in Chicago. I was there for the first half of my adolescent life and then moved to Florida. And where I was at in both of those places, they had a really large Puerto Rican population. And then, pursued academia for like the rest of my career, I guess. And that's the path that I'm on now, but we'll get more on that later. But then when I moved here to Pittsburgh, I realized what was once a majority to me is now a minority. And I never felt that way in my life before. And I've had a few encounters within the first month that I was here with just overt racism. They just didn't care. They were a strong sense of entitlement, strong sense of who are you? Why do you look and talk and sound like that? You don't belong here or go back to where you come from. But I'm from here, you know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know. It was a little contradictory to me, but I knew if I felt like that within my first month of being here, there must be a lot of other people that feel that way too. So that's where the inspiration started. I really wanted to represent what it meant to be a Puerto Rican person in a place of diversity, because you already know what it's like being Boricua. We have resilience, we have that determination to make things around us
relentlessness.
better. The relentlessness.
Plug.
We drowning in. I'm trying to tell you, man. But honestly, and I was how can I create that in the most natural, expressive way for myself? And I just resorted to my passions. And one of the things that I grew up on was good food, grandma's food.
Bro, that is people don't understand that. For Puerto Rican, for most Hispanics actually,
Yeah.
our staple is food.
Yes.
Food and music.
Yeah.
Those are the
Honestly.
two things that encompass. And you know what's crazy? I can't do music and I can't cook food, but I can eat it and I can dance. So,
That's
but
it.
but food is food. Food connects people.
Yes.
Food expresses a lot of things, and over food, business deals are made. People underestimate the power of good food, a good environment. So, what led you to Pittsburgh? What out of all places? Because I ask my folks all the time. By my folks, I mean my mom. All the places you could have been. New York. You want to be Puerto Rican? Go to New York City.
Yeah.
But we got Florida. We got Texas. We got all the nice spots. What led you to the Iron City or Steel City of Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, man. It was really Duquesne University. Honestly,
Okay.
It's what really made me be okay, well, this is where I'm gonna stay. Because I was exploring my options, and Pittsburgh came on the map, and I was let's see what Pittsburgh has to offer. I read that it was a pretty decent city to live in. The cost of living was pretty low compared to the trajectory that Florida was on. Also, it was one of the safer cities, and I knew that growing up in Chicago and growing up in some of the tougher areas of Florida, I just didn't want to deal with the things that I saw on the regular, so that was one of the things as well. And really Duquesne University, that I had applied to their program because academia before everything. Before I'm a entrepreneur, before I'm anything else, all the other hats that I wear, I'm a student, and I'll always be a student. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to become a physician and I was at a point in my life where I needed to continue secondary education. So I was doing some research on some of the like universities that would be like best suited for me, and I found Duquesne University because they were one of the only postgraduate programs where they didn't require like the MCAT in order for you to get admitted to. And the MCAT is like a standardized exam. You know, they usually say like, oh, you try to take it once, you try to knock it out the park. But for most programs, it was a prereq for you to take it, and I wasn't ready to take it. That's why I'm looking for help. But Duquesne was like, nah, you don't got to take it. One of the only programs to offer that. And then when I applied to them, I reached out to them. They gave me the interview, and then they offered me a position. I was like, cool. And then I ended up getting scholarships from like other, resources like the Chamber of Commerce. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, this is I'm
So
going to
you
school.
want
I'm going to school.
you want to be a
discounted.
physician before, or you still do?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
What?
dude,
I'm on
that's
that.
dope. I see. I didn't
I'm on
even
that.
know
You
that.
didn't know that?
I mean,
Nah.
I knew you were going to school, and I correct me if I'm wrong. And we'll get into this.
Yeah.
When Secretos shut down, did you go back to school, or that was the plan, or something like that? I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, so I was always in school the whole time. I actually opened Secretos in the middle of me being in school. In the middle of the pandemic is when Secretos really started to pop off. Because I started school in 2019, and then 2020 happened, and I was like, I really don't want to get a job. I really don't want to work for nobody. Like all the food places are shut down, blah blah blah. And I was just like, yo, what if I just start trapping? What if I just start trapping plates? What if I just start like whatever? And then I started to explore that avenue, and that's how that happened. But it's we'll get more details on that. But yeah, physician before everything. I'm actually applying for medical school. I'm interviewing for medical school right now. All my applications are in. I've applied to about like 35, 40 schools. I've been getting a bunch of interviews. Now I'm just waiting to hear back. I think the earliest I hear back is next month, which is pretty cool. And then the latest I'll hear back is about like June, so it's just like a
That's
wide
wild. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. This is just like Secretos is like really just like I don't want to make it sound like it's like nothing because it's kind of a big deal, but for me, Secretos was always like a side project.
So, best case scenario, which not best case, when it happens, you become a physician.
Mhm.
What's the move for Secretos?
I got a squad that can handle this.
Bet.
I
So it
got
stays
a whole
open. Cool.
army. Yeah, I got an army of people that are willing to that they know me. They really like get down with me, and they really like stand by like what I'm trying to do in life, and they're telling me that they want me to go to school and they want for me to get out of the business so that way I can continue the original dream that I had.
It's crazy how strong a good support system, like how far that can take you.
It means a lot, honestly, because if I didn't have the people that I have now, like the squad that I have now, there's no way I'd be able to handle both. But I have a really strong team, specifically Mikey. He's in the back cooking right now, actually. Like,
I'm sure you'll see
him pop up.
There
you know
he
what
is.
I'm saying?
The dude's doing everything.
He's
One
holding
man
it down.
show right now.
Yeah, he's holding it down, bro. So he was a customer that came to the food truck, tried the food. He bought a little bit, went in his car, ate it, watching me eat his food. Like, I want to know what this guy thinks about my, you know what I'm saying? And he comes back in line. He's like, yeah, the food's pretty good. And then he orders a couple other things. He eats it, whatever, goes to his car. And he comes back again and he orders some food to like take out. He's just like picking at it, making sure, because he's a picky guy. You know what I'm saying? He's worked in restaurants for a while, so I got to make sure like I'm not gonna ball out on the whole menu without even trying you. You know what I'm saying? So he just bought a couple things, and then the third time that he came up, he took some things like to go, and he was like, "You need some help around here?" And I was like, I'll let you know. Like I got it on lock. Like I got a few people, blah blah blah. But then those people ended up having different aspirations, and I hit him up, and he was my first employee that I ever hired. Like officially hired. That wasn't part of like the original people that were helping me, my friends and family. He was the first stranger, so to say. And he was a guest turned into an employee who is now a general manager and going to be like a partial owner in the future. So he's holding it down right now.
I feel those type of people are the ones who usually like when you keep those around. If you can foster those relationships, those are the ones that'll ride or die forever because
honestly,
they bought in. Initially,
yeah,
they bought in because they love the concept, they love the food. It's not someone who sees you prospering and just wants a piece of the pie. It's someone who believes in the view and the mission, and so that's dope.
Appreciate that.
Let's go into. You said this popped off around like 2020. Everybody knows what happened on 2020. The fucking world shut down. But
whole world.
What made you go? Oh, everything's shutting down. I want to pop it off.
Yeah.
Like, cause especially in a scene, Pittsburgh's food scene's been growing for years now, and
Yeah.
it's now it's even taken off even more.
Mhm.
What made you decide to launch a restaurant during one of the toughest times for a lot of people? Like, what was that motivation for you?
I knew that there was a need that had to be met. There was a demand that wasn't being supplied. And I really also just needed my own money. And I was already making these foods for like 5, 6 people just so I can have leftovers. And I was like, why don't I just do it for like 30, and just see what happens from there. And when I moved to Pittsburgh, coincidentally, I ended up moving across the street from one of the only Puerto Rican barbershops at the time. And I went, outside to walk to the dollar store, and I hear reggaeton blasting at the shop. So I walk in naturally, like it was like the Spider-Man meme, like, oh shit, this guy looks Puerto Rican. And they're like, oh shit, you look Puerto Rican. Literally just pointing at each other. I got my haircut, started asking like, yo, like, where can we get good Boricua food out here? And they're like, you must be new to the city. And I'm like, I am. Like, where can we get good Like, stop playing. Like, stop gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I'm new. Like, help me out. And they're like, nah, there's no Puerto Rican food out here. I was like, okay, what about Supermercado, some kind of grocery store? You got to go to like 4 or 5 different places.
You gotta go to ID, you gotta go to
you got to go to Rainer Foods. You got to go to this place. If you want plantains, you got to go to Woolies. If you want this, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, it's complicated, but okay. I'm gonna go do that because like I really want some food. Y'all want some? And then they were like, what do you mean? Like, you cook? I'm like, yeah. They're like, what do you cook? I'm like, tell me what you want. I'll make it, And then they asked for pernil, carne guisada, arroz, habichuela. They were trying me because they were like,
I want it all.
This guy doesn't know what he's doing. And then I brought them food, and then they ended up calling me the same day asking for more food. And then they called me the next day asking me if I was making food. And then I told them I was gonna do it on the weekend. And they said, okay, we'll make double, make triple. And then it eventually got to the person that booked me for my first catering, Jason Mendez. And he booked me for Pitt and got all my licensing and all that stuff after that. And that's when I started to get like hit up all the time. Like, yo, we need catering, yo, we need this, we need that. And I was like, shit, what would be cool? Everything's on lockdown, people can't go nowhere. So what if I just went to them? So that's how the food truck concept started. So it started with
gonna get into
it started with plates at the crib, and it started with catering for like organization like Pitt and Duquesne and all them places. Like when I got all my licensing, I was able to like present myself in a professional manner. And then I met my business partner, Doug Rabel. Shout out to him big time. And he invested in the company. And with that, we was able to buy the food truck, and we were able to buy like all the supplies and the equipment that we needed. And the rest was history. We did like 100K in like the first 3 months, which is insane.
Funny story about that guy. And right now it's escaping me. One of my friends, they saw me post your stuff online, and they're like, oh, my buddy invests into that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's a good bet.
I was like, what? And I was just reading your website and stuff, and I'm like, no shit, for real?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude, what a small world.
Yeah. You know him?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know Doug, but I can't think of which friend was telling me. I was just sitting. I was just having a conversation with someone. They're like, yeah, my friend invests in that. And I was just, I'm like, dude, it's crazy how like the circles, like Pittsburgh's so big to me, but it's so small.
It really is.
Like it's so
tight
small.
Network for sure. And he knows a lot of people. Doug is, if you don't know Doug, you got to get to know Doug because he can help you out with anything and everything. And he's been a big blessing in my life and a big accelerator of like, it was inevitable, like destined for greatness. But with him in there, it was a catalyst. He just like helped us get there way quicker, like get the money way quicker and stuff like that. So shout out to him for real.
How did he come? How did he come in the picture?
A friend of ours, actually. I think I hit him up. I hit up one of our mutual friends. His name is B-Mac. He's probably the best realtor here in Pittsburgh.
Second best.
I'm
the first.
You're the first best.
I'm the first best when I'm on my damn show.
I didn't even know you did that.
Yeah, hey, I do it all.
We're learning about each other.
Yeah, we learn about each other. That's what the point of this podcast is, right?
Crazy, dog.
He's a second best realtor. I'm sure he pulls way more numbers than me. Yeah.
Second best realtor in Pittsburgh. And I asked him, I was like, yo, bro, like, you know anybody that's trying to invest? I forgot how. Like, don't quote me verbatim. So long ago. He was like, actually, I think I know somebody. I was like, oh, shit. All right, cool. Put me on. Doug came through. Brandon came through, cooked some food, and started asking questions. And then we went to go to the spot where the food truck was made, and that was a whole shit show. And then he, once he had the food and once he saw the business model and like the person behind it, blah, 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 he saw the passion, he saw the relentlessness.
I need to have the mixer up here so I can start pressing that damn button.
Damn, you need to get one like...
Bro, setups are different everywhere I go.
True. You got to get one that has the coquille and like the
oh, yeah.
Just to like drop that shit.
Dude, you give me ideas. Now you give me
Yeah,
ideas.
so he came through, tried the food, loved the food, and he was like, "Yo, put my money where my mouth is, and I'm gonna just, make it happen." And he's the guy. That's how it came about through a friend. Is the point.
That's
Small
fire.
networks.
Who taught you how to cook? Like
My
what?
fucking grandparents.
Your grandparents.
And my mom.
Shocker.
And my mom.
Yeah,
and
give
my
mom.
mom.
You gotta
Yeah.
give mom. Gotta give mom some
Mama
props.
taught me the basics. She taught me how to cut. She taught me how to do this. She helped me sharpen my tools, how to be better with it. She showed me a lot of recipes too, actually, like her way of doing things. Because that's the thing about like food, and it's like an edible, forever transforming part of like culture and history that's passed down to you, and then you have a responsibility to nurture it. And with that responsibility comes like your contributions to it, and then that gets passed on to someone else. So grandma, I was fortunate enough to learn from her and grandpa, and then fortunate enough to learn from my mom. But it was always in the family. It was always in the family, like always. Like I remember watching my grandma, helping my grandma cook when I was young, helping her clean when I was young. Like it was, like you said, bro. It's indoctrinated in our culture where we have to do that in some form. Like food, dancing, music, and all that stuff is going to be in our culture. So she always wanted a restaurant. She always loved to cook for people. Even, bro, she came through for the grand opening like 2 weeks ago, and I picked her up from the airport. We went to go eat, and then I asked her what she wants to do. The first thing she said was grocery store. We got to go to the grocery store. I'm like, for what? She said, because you don't have any food. Like, how do you know? You're not even at my house.
Yeah, you ain't at my house. You never
Yeah.
have enough food
She's
for
like-
grandparents, though.
She's like, no, just take me. Like, we need this, and that. Okay, cool. So 2.5 hours, 3 hours of riding around and copping groceries. We get home. Mind you, we're still fresh out the airport. There's luggages. There's all those things that need to be unpacked. So I go and I open the front door to my apartment. And then my grandma, she doesn't grab anything but a small bag of groceries. She enters the front door. She puts it down on the kitchen table and immediately just starts prepping with her luggages in the car. Doesn't even take her shoes off. Doesn't even go like take a shower, decompress. Straight from the airport to the grocery store. From the grocery store out the whip to the kitchen. Immediately started working. So it's indoctrinated in her culture. She has a strong passion for it, and because of that, like it was able to reflect off to me and to my mom and stuff. So home training. Yeah.
Did you have that love for cooking when you were learning, or is that something that developed, or it's like, do you have a passion for cooking, or was it something that you're like, this is just something I have to do to keep it alive?
Yeah, honestly, it is a responsibility, but it's not a burden. And I do have a passion for it. I would have never thought that I was gonna come to Pittsburgh and open up like one of the hottest restaurants in the city, And that's a humble brag. I don't mean to say that like a dickhead. It's like,
Yeah, it came out.
you can get whoops like success, like, oh, my bad. Google me, Oh, whoops, there I go again. No, but banger.
That's another button. Banger.
Nah, the passion is there for sure. But it was really just when I was little, I didn't like it that much because I was like, man, I just want to play games and stuff like that. But my grandma always told me like, hey, the games are gonna be there forever. I'm not gonna be here forever. You're gonna remember these skills, and one day you're gonna be grateful for it. So like, yeah, I didn't realize what she meant until that was taken from me. I don't mean to sound like negative. She's still around, obviously, but I didn't have her nurturing. I didn't have her home cooked meals to come home to as I grew.
You didn't
older.
have the access
I didn't have
that
access
you had.
anymore. Yes,
Yeah.
I moved away for college, and I was like, damn, I gotta cook for myself.
No, it's crazy you mentioned that. My grandfather used to cook. He could cook for 100 people or for 2 people, and it would taste exactly the same.
Crazy.
It's a crazy skill.
Crazy.
And dude, ever since he passed away, like my mom's cooking, don't get me wrong, phenomenal, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like kind of like you can eat good, like I've eaten your food many times. Phenomenal food. Phenomenal food.
Appreciate it.
It's not the same as my mom's.
That's what it is.
It's not better. It's not worse. Just
not the same.
There's this, like, I feel like Puerto Ricans cook, most like Hispanics cook with like their ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen my mom measure a damn thing in her life.
Can't do it.
Food tastes the same every single time.
Isn't that crazy?
And then I ask her, I'm like, oh, what'd you put? Oh, un poquito sofrito. I'm like, oh, how much of? She's like,
poco.
Un poco.
Poquito.
What is that?
Un pedazo, pedacito. That's all you get.
I'm like, what is un poco? Un poco for me might look different than But and what if I'm feeling different that day? What if un poco's a little
You
wet?
better figure it out.
Always tastes the same though. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Mm.
Dude, it's like it's an art. It's an art.
It really is, bro, and that's the most difficult. One of the most difficult parts about like expanding and the way that we're expanding is that it's captivating that and turning that into like a quantity. It's been difficult for me to. Well, I mean, shout out to Mikey because Mikey's been under my wing for years now. 2-3 years. About 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Yep. He's been under my wing for 3 years, and he's caught on. And he knows like what to expect and what it looks like. Like, bro, I haven't cooked in the Secretos food in a long time, and that speaks volume of like the dedication that he has to that. So he's watched me cook, and we tried to measure, and we tried to this, and we tried to that. We have a cookbook back there that gives you like the general trajectory, but you always got to taste it, you always got to smell it, you always got to see, try it out real quick to see what you're missing, and then add on from there. So it's tough, but
What was the relationship with your grandparents? Why was that so special? Well, not why was it so special, but why was that the thing you chose to kind of represent what you brought here to Pittsburgh?
yeah. So I owe everything to them. I had to honor them. It would be selfish of me if I were to open up or do something like this in the realm that they had aspirations to do and not pay any homage to them. They are the reason why I have the passion and the motivation. And granted, I live a life where I feel like I don't owe anybody anything, but it would just make me feel more wholesome and more humane if I included them somehow. And it would just feel so weird if I didn't do that. So maybe that's just the way I was raised, but I had to do it under their honor. And that, I think that kind of just ties into my personality too. I'm a very giving, very loving, like the kind of one of the reasons why I want to be a physician. I want to like help like heal people all the time as much as I can. And my friends know this about me too. I'll be the first one to offer you a place to sleep. I'll be the first one to offer you a plate of food if you need something. Some of the very first interactions with like the closest friends that I have now is literally me pulling up to their house with bags of groceries, like IKEA style bags, massive, just full of groceries and cooking supply. And like, hey guys, my name is Felipe. Like, nice to meet you. Like, oh yeah, you're Josiah's boy. Or yeah, you're da da da. Okay, I'm gonna be in the kitchen for like 2 hours. We're all gonna eat and powwow. Blah blah blah. I learned that from my grandparents. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the success if it wasn't for them and my mother too. So it only made sense to do that.
For those of you who don't know, so Secretos de Mi Abuelo translates to Secrets of My Grandparents. So I'm assuming that secrets the recipes.
The secrets, the recipes. Yeah.
It's like the Krabby Patty recipe, huh?
Just like that. Gotta
can't get
gatekeep it. Gotta gatekeep it.
Gatekeeping.
I wouldn't even be able to like put it down on paper. If somebody took a gun and they pointed it to my head and they asked me what is the secrets of the grandparents, I wouldn't be able to give them the answer. And I asked my grandma like, what is it? And her answer, the secret is love. It's like the attention that you give to the food, the amount of time that you put into the preparation to make sure that it's perfect, the humility that you must have when you realize that something isn't up to par. You have to be able to put your pride and your ego down and be like, damn, like I didn't do my thing the way I thought I did. How can I go back? And the resilience to like overcome like that mistake. Like not only should you have humility, but you should also have like the passion to keep going, like the resilience to keep going.
A lot of things are attributed to passion, man. Like you can, and I was raised this way too. I've held a lot of jobs. I've worked in a lot of industries. One of my first jobs was working at Golden Corral. Shout out to Psych. Fuck them.
Fuck this.
Fuck them, man.
You thought. Shit,
nah,
shout
dude.
out to Ken.
But I was a cashier. I started as a cashier.
Yeah.
But I was always raised like, yo, if you're washing toilets, you're gonna be the best toilet cleaner anyone's ever seen. Like you're gonna put your passion to whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
And I apply that to everything I do, bro, in my relationships and everything.
That's real.
And this may sound dumb or silly for some, but like being in the kitchen, being a cook was like one of the places to be in that restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were a cook, you were like,
it's that guy. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking made it to being a cook. And then no one liked the bakery because it was one of the hard, you were a cook on crack because it was one of the hardest positions. You're usually staffed there by yourself. You had to staff the whole thing.
Shit.
You had to make the bread in the morning. You had to everything.
Shit.
But you were by yourself. Then we had the chocolate fountain. I don't know if you've ever been to Golden Corral.
Shout out to Psych.
They have this chocolate fountain, right? Looks good. And then, but the problem with that is all the little fucking kids with their booger fingers would put chicken nuggets in it and then we'd have to shut the entire thing down. And you think that
Cross-contamination,
stays
yeah.
down?
No.
No, we gotta clean it. We gotta put new chocolate and reopen it up. I'm
Mm.
like, bro, we got an hour left before we close. Can I? No,
Nope.
so it's the worst position to be in. Well, I got put
Jesus.
into that. Bro, I was over there singing. I'm over there stalking the bar. I'm doing cause like this is where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I can bitch and complain,
Mm-hmm.
or I can just make the best out of it. And in doing that, it's got me where I'm at today. You know, I've fostered good relationships. I mean, when I first met you, we hit it off, you know, and it's just,
Yeah.
it all stacks on each other.
That's real, bro. To add to that, dog, every little bit of like adversity that you encounter, a lot of people would have like a negative mindset to it, like, man, why is this happening to me, or blah blah blah, like this is like the worst shit ever. It's all about mindset for me. And I really just, like you said, how you were singing and you were excited, I see all these opportunities where I'm just like sidelined and just hit with random bullshit. I see them as like opportunities to build like character, you know, like unlock character traits that I haven't unlocked yet. My patience, you know, the willingness to overcome something like nonstop, like things like that. So yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that, because yeah, through resilience we get strength, we learn patience. You know, people pray for patience, right? What's the best way to learn patience?
Practice patience.
Practice patience.
Yeah.
So we get thrown into these scenarios where we have to exercise our patience,
Mm-hmm.
and we get upset.
Right.
We get mad.
Right.
It's like,
You resort to what you know.
this is what you want, right?
Right.
You want to learn patience. These are the
This is
reps
how
to
you
get
do
you
it.
to learn patience.
Exactly.
People want, you know, strength.
Yeah.
I want to be strong.
Yeah.
You don't just get strength. You have to go to the gym. You have to struggle. You have to sweat.
Yes.
You have to hurt,
You gotta be
hurt,
sore.
pain,
Yeah.
be sore.
Sacrifices.
Like,
same shit.
that's how you gain strength.
Your muscle is or your brain is a muscle too.
Same
You
thing.
know
I
what
want to
I'm
be
saying?
smart.
Yeah.
You have to go to class. You have to study. You have
Put in
to
the fucking
apply
work.
yourself to everything you're doing. And it's as when I was younger, it was hard to grasp that concept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I grew up, you know, probably same way you grew up, humble beginnings,
Mm-hmm.
not much. And then I see kids who have everything, and I'm like, well, why do they have it? You know, and one day I'm just like, fuck, does it matter if they have it?
Doesn't matter if they got
The
it.
problem is I don't, and I need to get it.
Yes.
How do I, like, you
Yes.
start focusing inward on yourself and what you need to do to change to get yourself to where you want to be,
That's real.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, how your progression with the restaurant, you know, it started from, I just love cooking, or I like cooking. There's a need that needs to be met because I just met a bunch of Boricuas in the same area. Well, now I'm catering food out of probably, you know, trapping out of the apartment. Now we got a food truck. What made you decide to go brick and mortar? Because you could have, I mean, there's a lot of food trucks that are successful,
Yeah.
bring in big numbers, you know. What was that deciding factor for catering and having that food truck to, now we need to go
Yeah.
brick and mortar. We need to be in somewhere. We need
Yeah.
a spot where people come to us.
That's a good question, bro. Honestly, I had the food truck going from, I think, March 2021, and that was short lived. It lasted until like August, September, probably like 5 months. It started to get like in March. It was like, I think on my opening day, it was like snowy and frosty outside, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, and we're making good money, but like, what now? What's the next step? I don't want to be. I don't like complacency. I don't like just being like, okay, the food truck is successful, blah blah blah. So I was like, what? The sky's the limit, and I'm not even like scratching the surface yet. I don't want to like be a prisoner of my own mind and just like settle and be like, yeah, this is it for me. Like, I'm happy with this, like, you know, this money that I'm making. That was sustainable, but I just, you know, I had the input from my business partner too, and he was telling me like, yo, like, this is like a multi-million-dollar business. Like, we can turn this up if you want to, but the food truck just wasn't sustainable all year round, and I was the only one that can drive that shit. And we needed a commercial kitchen to cook out of anyway. And the insurance was a motherfucker. I had to have like $1 million like liability, just to whip that shit around, because it's like literally like a death trap on wheels. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy as fuck.
Oil everywhere.
Oil
Goddamn.
yes, bro.
Ovens, and yeah, I can
Yeah.
only imagine.
Yeah, it's tough, and I had to, you know, like drive that shit to go places and do
Like,
things.
where do you even park? Where were you parking it?
Whoever hit me up got it. Literally, bro, I've been to communities. I've been to fucking like outside of like games. I've been to like random blocks, like just to pull up at a fucking kid party. I've been to parks. I've been everywhere, bro.
That's
Literally
sweet.
everywhere. South
That's
side,
cool. That's a
Dog,
cool
Strip
little.
district, like anybody who wanted me during that time when I was trying to get my name out there, anybody who hit me up and told me to pull up a food truck, I was there. So I had no like limits or something like that. But I really wanted to, I believed in like what other people were saying, like how, they can see a Secretos in like every other state or every other city. And before I was like, damn, okay, well, let's do this. And the guy that I bought the truck from, he's a piece of shit. And the truck was a piece of shit. So if you ever come across this, I hope you see it. Like I'm saying it on camera, my guy, you're a piece of shit, and you deserve everything that's happening to you.
I'm just a host.
He's just a host, but I mean, he could also fuck you up. So
if you're fucking with Secretos, I'm probably gonna have to.
Yeah. So you can come see me if you want to address that. But it was just things were just like, it just didn't make sense to keep going through like the struggle or to find like a different kind of struggle and just like sharpen it from there. And I saw the potential of like having in the brick and mortar, and I sat down and I have a conversation with Mikey. I was like, yo, bro, like you want to just like take this from, just a food truck shit for just a few hours, and you want to turn this into a fucking multi-million-dollar franchise. Like I need you. I will put you on salary. I'll promote you, but I need you to like hold it down. I'm gonna show you how I cook. I'm gonna share the secrets of my grandparents with you. You need to, you gotta hold it down. You gotta be like my right hand. And he took that on, and we've been at it for 2 years now. So it was really just a reassurance from my supporters, like my peers, the people closest to me, business partner, and my employees and stuff like that. And also just like the vision, like the amount of love that I received back, or like, from Secretos being open. I was like, yeah, this is insane. Like how we blew up without spending any money on marketing and all that stuff. Like it just felt good to keep pushing the limit.
That organic growth. That's best growth.
Yeah,
Word of mouth.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, literally.
No pun intended. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna need that damn button.
Yeah, you need to tighten up, bro.
I'm gonna tighten up.
Honestly,
we all growing as we go, right? We all growing. We're all learning.
Seems to be the theme. Yeah. Yes, sir.
But word of mouth, organic growth, right?
Yeah.
Was that how your business was able to scale up? Is that what you said you didn't do any marketing?
Nope. All the marketing was literally just me and my business partner being ourselves on social media. He has like tactics to, kind of go side to side with the algorithm. He has that figured out, so he knows what to do. But like me, bro, I'm on Instagram like 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. Half of that time being on Secretos, and it's probably just to shit post. Like I don't know if you see like our posts now, but it's literally like a picture of like a Renaissance painting with a tostone in the middle.
Yeah, I mean it's creative. It's definitely been getting creative.
That's just me though. I'm not even trying to be creative. I'm just like, yeah, this is my page. I can kind of do whatever I want. You either fuck with it or you don't. You either like my food or you don't. You're either gonna support it or you don't. Regardless, like I can't please everybody. I'm gonna just be me. So you'll see like the Pokemon memes, or you'll see like blah blah blah. And I think like there's no other business doing it out there. I'm not trying to be different on that regard. Like I don't have brainstorming sessions like, man, what can I do to separate myself from blah blah blah. But it's really just like us being ourselves, and the organic way was just like the best way to do it. Still not. I mean, we dabbled with spending money on marketing a little bit, but we didn't see the turnaround that we saw if we were just like natural, like ourselves, So
what made you pick? You were on Fifth Ave, right? Was it Fifth Ave?
I was on Fifth Ave, yeah.
What made you pick that look? I mean, that was a dope location.
It was
like across from PPG.
Yeah.
I mean, like geographical wise. Yeah, geographically.
Yeah.
Physician. All right, bro. Damn.
Dumbass over here.
He is stupid. But what made you pick that location? Like, was it just you just saw an opportunity, empty building, and was like, hey, that's the one I'll get? Was there like a method to your madness in that location, or is it just fell on you?
That was my business partner. He is just as resilient, and he saw a gap that needed to be like filled. We needed a commercial kitchen, a larger commercial kitchen, because we just kept blowing up. So he was like in the market for commercial kitchens, and the person that he hit up actually like owned that building, and they owned a restaurant that was in that building that was like not super sustainable because the owners had other aspirations, and just like it just wasn't being like super upkept. So my business partner offered like for us to come into the space and kind of rent out the space and like take over outside of just being like a commissary kitchen. And then trial and error, we experimented with it. It was actually a Hawaiian restaurant, and we had the collab with the Hawaiian restaurant for like a few months, and then it just didn't work out. Yeah, I know it's a little luau or whatever. And no, it just from there, we just didn't see ends meet, and then we ended up just going from Hawaiian Puerto Rican fusion to just like full on Puerto Rican, and then from there is when we were able to really like capitalize on our momentum. So yeah, it was him.
Then it shut down.
Then it fucking shut down. The worst shit ever,
I could have cried, but I didn't. What happened? If you can disclose, or what you can disclose.
Full disclosure, yep, for sure, man. So the building was not in good shape. There's like a massive crack that was going on, like it was growing on the side of the building. It just like there's so much construction.
Like every
going
older
on.
building
Like
in that area, yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. There was a lot of construction going on. There was a lot of like, things moving around, and the building just couldn't keep up. So there's like an older white guy that owns that entire strip, and he just kept bothering the people. He owned that entire strip except for the one building that we were in. So he just kept bothering us. And then one day he found like a little piece of like concrete brick on the ground, and he came into the restaurant, put it on the table. Y'all need to shut this shit down. This brick almost fell on my head. Like, you guys are gonna get fucked. Da 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 da. My boy, my camera just saw you pick that up from the ground and come over here. You know what I'm saying? So
you Puerto Ricans got cameras? Damn.
You guys know how to install. I thought you only knew how to install them. I didn't know you knew how to work them. Yeah, bro. And then he just kept bothering the city, and the city eventually came through and shut us down. And it was January 11th was my last day of operation. The day before that, the fire marshal came through and they barricaded our door because there was a cold front coming in from.
Diablo, Mikey, lo suave.
Christ. There's a cold front coming in from like Asia, Russia, or something like that, and it just swept down. And it was like super fucking frigid. And the fire marshal was like, "Yeah, nah, this building's probably gonna collapse. You need to like vacate the building like now."
Damn.
Yeah. So I literally got a phone call from one of my team members, and they were like, "Yeah, the fire marshal just came through. They barricaded our door, and they told us that you have to leave." Around that same time, the owner of the building told me that he actually sold the building to dude. So it was like, well, dude is the new owner. Dude is kicking us the fuck out. And the fire marshal's telling us that the building is not sustainable. We had to shut down our doors. So we shut down our doors January 11th. And then Doug, being the fucking amazing partner that he is, found a new spot in like a week. And this is how we found that one.
So this was found in a week.
This was found in about a week. 2 weeks max. Don't quote me. But it was
in a short amount of time.
Super short.
Dude, because I was going to ask you, like, that shit can be detrimental for especially newer establishments, you know?
Yeah.
Like a forced shutdown, not like this is something I'm choosing, but like a forced shutdown.
Yeah, it's not
can kill a company.
Yeah.
Kill a business.
Oh, yeah.
What, like before you knew that new building was coming or new location, what were you thinking? Were you like, is this something I want to keep doing? I want to keep trying? Or were you like, maybe this is a sign to like really just hone in on my studies and my primary goal?
It was the worst shit ever, bro. It was the most depressed that I've ever been in my entire life. Yet so far. And it was
There's always time for more.
There's always time for more bullshit. It was the darkest time of my life. I had a lot of things going on during that time too. Like this heartbreak. It was family issues that were going on. The Secretos being shut down. Around that time, I already had applied to medical school that time, but I didn't get a single person that was interested in me. So I literally just my whole world just came crashing. And I took some time and some space to really heal from it, like separate myself, and like had a lot of like, realizations, like what am I really made of? I was also like the heaviest that I've been to, and I was also like out of therapy. And I was like, I need to like start building myself back up, because I saw it as like, damn, everything was taken away from me. But then a few days later, I was like, damn, hold on, everything was taken away from me. That means that I have brand new building materials. I can now reconstruct myself the way that I want to be, and I can restart the brand like from scratch. Because the brand was good, the brand was strong, but I wasn't there all the time. You know what I'm saying? So like there were things that were just like happening that I just didn't know about, and I didn't want that, The toughest part about it was having to tell my staff that we were shut down, and all those families that I had to feed that were relying on me for paychecks, like they all just, I had to let them all go. Like it was heartbreaking, bro. But I was literally like, damn, like I can either fold right now and just like become an even worse version of myself, or I can tighten the fuck up and get my shit together. And I made a game plan, and I had to talk with myself, and I got back into therapy, and I got back in the gym, and I started doing all these things, and I started to feel better day by day. Just took it like one step at a time, and I had a really strong support group that was always checking on me, that was always like, making sure that I was okay, and if I needed anything, like they were there for me and all that. And then they always say like setbacks are just ways to build more momentum. So that's how I perceived it. And I talked to my mom a lot too. She was praying for me, and she was telling me just to never forget like where you came from. You've been through things like this before. This is not your first rodeo. So sometimes like growing up from humble beginnings, like it's helpful, because if I didn't have those rough times, I would have folded, but I could not let myself fold.
I I tell people that a lot of we obviously have surrounded ourselves by different people now, like where I come from, I go back and the same dudes are on the same corners doing the same things, and
Right.
it's kind of unfortunate to see.
Sad.
But I made a living out of surrounding myself by good people, doing good things,
Good.
building a good network. That because to pull myself out of that, right? But it's funny you mentioned, because I've said this multiple times, and I tell people, I'm like, dude, like they're like, how can you remain so calm during all this chaos? Because I suffer from depression as well. Well, I don't know, not to put words in, but I suffer from
No, no,
depression
I'm
sometimes,
right
and
there with you. Yeah.
sometimes I catch myself, in the mirror, and I'm like, dude, I got beautiful, beautiful family. I got a good job. I got a couple careers. Like, why am I sad? Why am I angry? Why am I, and it's an internal conflict, and it's the thing I go back to that keeps me sane, for lack of a better word. And I came from nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and I made it happen. And that's what I can attribute to like being able to pull myself out of stuff is like, I didn't have two nickels to rub together. My mom was working multiple jobs to feed us. Like I came from nothing and I made something out of it. If I go back to that, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like I will be okay
Exactly.
because I've been there. I'm
Yep.
familiar with that. I've
Yep.
made it out of that.
Yep.
The goal is not to go back to that, obviously, but like during that dark time, that tough time you were having, what kept you or what put you on that path of like, no, because it's easy to just fold, man. Like
Super
just to
easy.
say, you know, things need like the phoenix metaphor people use. Things need to crash and burn before a new bird emerges. Sounds great, dude. Make it a fucking poem, put it in a movie. It's awesome. But to do that is
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
What can you attribute to that thing that kept you like in line, keeping your eyes on that goal of climbing out? You said you went back to therapy, you started going to the gym. Like you're doing all that at a time. Usually people pick one and then they add the other, and like how were you able to just 180 and start that path to growth, to healing?
Yeah. I had a lot of support, man. I had a lot of people checking in on me. I had opportunities to speak to people, and just like how you said, bro, like if everything were to be taken from me, I knew that I would be okay because I came from. I mean, my mama tried her best, and she did her goddamn best, But there were times where we didn't know where shit was gonna come from. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew that I knew that if I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, and if I just made it through the night, that the next day was a new day to start new opportunities. I was very optimistic, and I was looking forward to what's to come instead of worrying about what I had lost. Because I had to let that shit go.
Perspective shift.
It's really a
Wow.
perspective shift, and it's one of the things I was really taught in my household growing up. It's all about how you think about things and how you approach things. Because the fact of the matter is, the shit happened. You know what I'm saying? How you want to perceive it and what you want to make out of it is entirely up to you. And I see my mom go through it. I see my grandma go through it. My grandpa go through it. I'm going through it. Like I always, every time I close my eyes, I thought to myself, like, what will my mom think of me? Like, what will my grandma think of me? My best friends, all those people, the people that care about me. What will I think about myself? You know what I'm saying?
What would good me
Exactly.
think of this me right
Yes.
here?
Yes. If I were to fast forward 2 years from this point in time exactly in my life and look back, will future me be happy and be proud of me with what I'm doing now. I allowed myself to feel the emotions, you know, all the grief and all the depression and all that. The first thing I had to do was recognize that it was a real thing, and not try to like push it down and just kind of like embrace it and live with it. Like, this is who I am in the moment. But in the moment was the key word, because I knew that those moments pass, just like everything else passes. The time passes, the feelings pass, you regulate, you reach homeostasis all over again. So I just knew that this too will pass.
Damn.
Deep shit.
Dude, that is, but so true. That metaphor of
Simple.
one foot in front of the other.
Keep it going.
The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step,
You
right? You
cannot
hear
give
that all
up.
the time.
Yeah, you cannot give up.
And it's hard to see, but if you, like, it's easy to recognize what needs to be done. It's hard to do it.
Right.
But if you just do
Yes.
a little thing at a time, eventually you're gonna look back and be like, damn, look how far I've gone. You ever walk to, did you ever live anywhere cold? You said Chicago, right?
Yeah.
A lot of snow there.
A lot of snow.
Did you ever have to like walk to school or
All
the
the
store?
time. All the time.
I remember walking to school in the blizzard, bro, and you couldn't see in front of you.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, it's gonna take forever to get to school,
Yeah.
you know. But you're taking those steps. You know, nothing's changing. It's still chaos, snow, blizzard. Next thing you know, the school starts to like appear in the end, and you're like, once you can see that school, see your goal coming, you almost get excited. You're like, oh, shit, like I know school is this far from home. I know my goal was so far from where I started, and look where I'm at.
I'm here.
But it's hard to see that during the journey.
That's
At the end, when you're close, you feel it. You're like, I'm almost here. You start getting brazen and bolden, and then, but that journey is the tough part.
Right.
You know, and embracing that journey and realizing, like you said, this is me in the moment.
Yep.
Realest shit I ever heard.
Moments change, and I always tell myself, man, I'm a living, breathing, experiencing, feeling extension of the universe. I come from like cosmic matter, and one day when my time on this earth is done, I will return back to where I came. My only job right now is to make sure that I am still feeling, existing, experiencing everything that the world has to offer for me. If I start worrying about the bigger picture, and if I start worrying about like, fuck, I don't think I'm going to make it, whatnot, I'm not doing my responsibility. I'm just supposed to keep doing that. And part of life that the world has to offer you is feeling those negatives with the positives. It's a spectrum. You kind of just got to take it all as it goes. And like we already talked about, man, it's, those moments will pass. Those tough times will pass. You don't have to worry. You know, going back to the metaphor of the blizzard, you walking through the snow. Your job isn't to worry about, holy fuck, it's fucking snowing, it's blah blah blah. Your job is to worry about walking. You'll eventually get there. You go to bed every day feeling like you're on top of the world. One day you're gonna wake up on top of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Being relentless.
Relentless, baby.
And that's not to be a plug, but that is the whole premise of this podcast, you know, because I believe if you want something, or if you want to be something or do something, if you stick with it long enough, you'll be successful
You
at
can
it.
do it. It's the crazy ones that are, it's the ones that are crazy enough to believe in themselves so much are the ones that end up making it.
Because they don't stop.
Because they don't fucking stop, and they have no other choice but to get that success.
I've been in many fights in my life. Many fights. You know the type of people I hate fighting?
The ones that just keep getting the fuck up.
Damn coming. And I remember one of my, dude was way smaller than me. Way less experience. And he got me to a point that I'm ashamed of, but I was like, he's taking a lick. And I'm whooping this dude's ass. And he gets up. And it just keeps happening. And now I'm tired. And he just keeps getting up. And I remember thinking to myself, like, holy, this dude's never gonna stop. Like, he's never gonna stop. There was a point in that fight where I was like, I'm gonna get fucked up. Because, like, I'm tired and he just keeps going. One of the scariest fights I've ever been in my life.
Shit.
Not the
That's crazy.
bigger dude, not the stronger dude.
Yep.
The dude who just like bleeding and he's just coming up to me. Well, you're gonna have to fucking kill me. And I'm like,
exactly.
oh my gosh, dude. Like,
Yep.
bro, we're arguing over nothing. I was the one, I'm like, all right, we're done, bro. Like, we're arguing over nothing. And I'm tired of getting punched in the face. You obviously aren't. But that metaphor is with life, bro. If you just fight and fight and fight and fight, you will get to your goal.
Yep.
It may not be tomorrow. It may not be next week, next month, next year. But like, and this all leads me perfectly to look where we're sitting right now.
Look at that.
This
shit.
location is. I loved your last location.
Appreciate it.
This location is dope,
Thank you.
bro. Like you come in, you got the food right there, the restaurant right there. You got
the golf right
the
here.
golf simulator, which none of y'all can see, but
No.
there's the whole golf simulator.
You want to see it? You got to pull up.
Yeah, pull up.
You know what I'm
I'm not gonna show you until you come here.
saying?
We got bar over there,
Axe throwing.
little something upstairs.
Again, you got to
I ain't
find
gonna
out.
talk, but
Escape room.
is it gonna be utilized for Latin night?
Oh, bro, we actually got something coming. I'm not going to say anything right here, right now, but
Cool,
if you
cool.
want to find out about what's happening with Latin Night, you got to stay tuned to the Relentless project. You got to stay tuned to Ish Lopez, Felipe Crespo, and Secretos De Mis Abuelos. We will be dropping major announcements. Y'all know where to find us and all that stuff, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities coming. Give the city a little bit of what's been missing, and who fucking better than to do it? I'm in my bag this year, bro.
Dude, that's good.
I'm
Look,
in my bag this
this
year.
is what I want to talk about. I want to
don't
talk
really-
about you're in your bag season. You're in your
Yeah.
winning season.
Yeah.
How did this look? How did we get here? How did you get here? You
Yeah.
said 2 weeks,
My boy Doug, again,
and then
2 weeks, he was like, yo, he calls me all the time talking about, yo, I'm like, oh shit.
as soon as that
Oh,
yo
shit,
comes
yo,
out, like,
what's up?
you just see
I'm like,
dollar signs.
yeah, I'm like, it's the money man, Doug the money man, bro. Every year for motherfucking St. Patty's Day, bro, he pulls out this green money suit. All money,
Fucking
dollar
pimp,
signs,
bro.
bro. Yeah, with the pants and the this and the little nut, bro. He's that boy. I'm telling you, y'all might not know him now, and if you do know him, you're about to know him better.
And if you don't know, now
Now
you
you
know.
know. So, yeah, bro, 2 weeks, he found a spot, and he was like, yo, my boy, blah, blah, blah. They have a kitchen in there, but all they really do is, like reheated food. Like, they just have, like, a few easy bake ovens where they just, like, reheat some pizza and, like, some tacos and shit like that. He's like, yo, we can really take over that spot. It's a nice spot. They got this, they got that. And I'm like, boy, I'm trying to be the press right now. Can you give me, like, a few weeks to fucking...
Let me feel.
Yeah, like, let me just think my little feelings right here, you know? But he was like, all right, well, we should really check this out. You know, came down here. I sent him and Mikey to come check it out. And, you know, Mikey's like my front screener. You know, you got to get to me, you got to go through Mikey. And when Mikey hit
I don't
me
want to
up-
go through Mikey.
No, you don't.
That dude's dedicated to
No,
his craft.
dedicated.
He has not stopped. I don't
No.
know if they're going to be able to pick this up on the mics.
He doesn't stop.
He has not stopped since we started filming. You probably see him zooming
you
back
see
there.
him, the little head popping up the side, bro. Yeah,
Bro, he don't stop moving.
I actually called him on our day off, and I had to tell him to stop working so much. I had never thought in 2024 I would encounter someone where I had to tell him to stop fucking working so much, but he is a dog, you know? So once he checked out the spot with Doug, and Mikey called me, and he told me, like, yo, Philly. He calls me Philly.
I know, because he's like, yo, Philly here? I'm like,
Who the
assuming you
fuck
mean
is-
Felipe. I'm like, I don't know. He told me he was going to the store.
Yeah. So we all got nicknames.
It's your new
for each
nickname
other.
now,
Yeah,
Philly.
Philly. Yep. So he's like, yo, Philly,
Philly from
you
the
gotta
city.
check the spot.
Hey. So he actually checked it out first
We
with
checked
Doug.
it out first with Doug. Doug knew about it. He came through, checked it out, brought in Mikey, came through, checked it out. I was like, well, if Doug says it's dope, Mikey says it's dope, I gotta check it out. Came through, checked it out. I was like, shit, potential is crazy. But we had to build this bitch out because the stuff that you see in there now, especially that hood system, it was not here before. And all the permits and all the money that we had to put into it. And then we had issues with our contractors. Then we had issues with the permits, and then it didn't pass inspection. It took a whole motherfucking year. January 11th was the day that we shut down. The day that we reopened our doors was December 16th. So it was 11 months of just sitting, waiting
jumping
for things
through
to happen.
shit, jumping through.
Yeah,
hoops
we
and-
still had businesses that were like hitting us up for like catering, and we would go to like commercial kitchens and knock that out. And that's what kept, like, I told Mikey, is like, yo, you want to handle that? Like, you can handle that. I'll come up with money my own way. I know currently right now, like, you're probably hustling too, but that main source of income wasn't there. So if you just want to sharpen your cooking skills and get a little bit of insight of what it's like to be like the business owner, like behind Secretos, like, this is all you. So he started doing all those things. And Mikey is so goddamn real that he didn't leave. Him and one other person, which is like one of the newest persons that we brought on, didn't leave. When Secretos closed, he was like, all right, I'm closed too. Let me know when you're ready to come back. And I told him
Damn.
I'm ready to come back. He was like, okay, bet. I'm ready. And
You smell that?
Here he is. I actually do. Here he is. Yeah, you can
You
see.
better be making me a plate.
Yeah,
No.
you can see. Yeah, the sofrito's actually cooking on the stove.
Damn.
Yep, he actually pulled out. That smells like
Oh, I ain't trying to keep. this isn't shameless plugging. This is like fucking smells fire.
It really does. I
Well,
think
I got 2 hours and a half. We'll see. Anyway, so I'm just thinking out loud. My bad.
We'll see what we can cook up. Sometimes
Nah,
we
you're
got some
good.
things ready.
So you guys had to build everything out.
Pretty fucking
And
much.
so who's all? You got two employees, 3 employees?
Yeah, right now I got 4. We just
4.
hired a new one. So it's me, Mikey, who came back, my roommate Gordo. So this man, he's been on my ass for a while. He's been telling me like, yo, like I'm trying to come through, I'm trying to come through and work. And I was like, man, like I'm busy right now, da da da. But then when we shut down, he like hit me up. He's like, hey, I know you're probably going through a lot, but like if you need an extra hand, I'm still here. And I'm like, actually, I might, because I don't think any of my former team members are gonna come back. We've been close for so long, so they just like, started new things. And he's been my left hand man. He lives with me now, and he is in here just as much as I am. His name is Gordo, and he's my dog. So he came through. He wanted to take on the burden of running Secretos, so that way I could focus on school. So it's me, Mikey, Gordo, and then my other team member that came back. His name is Jonathan, and he's also really resourceful, really knowledgeable, and real helpful. And we hired one more person that we're going to start next week. So right now I got a small team of 5, but we're only open 5 hours a day for 5 days a week. But I mean, that's 25 hours of service. But obviously, like you already know how much prep and how much love goes into Puerto Rican food. So we're here 3-4 hours earlier, and Mikey even earlier, just prepping, getting ready for the day.
So I remember when we were talking schedules, like you gonna be here? He's like, oh, bro, I'm here at 10 a.m. I'm like,
yeah, I gotta be here, bro. Like the shop opens at 4.
Yeah, well, 4 now,
4
right?
now,
4
yeah.
now. It was 5
5,
o'clock.
yeah,
It was like 10 a.m. I'm like,
yeah.
what you doing back there?
Hey, bro, we got
adding love to the
we got
food.
It's the secret.
It's the secret.
It's the secreto right
Macho
there.
man that in love. Ooh, I sound like him on, especially with the mics. What's the goal for Secretos? What is this something you're like going at it time at a time, day by day, and you're like just kind of taking everything in, or is this something where you're like, this is where I want to take this? Like I've made the decision to take this here.
Yeah, I think the goal, the goal for me was just to honor my grandparents. So I'm chill with where it's at. The goal for me was just to collect residual income while I'm in medical school. So I'm cool. But having Doug and Mikey on board, like their vision is just like insane, and it's become my vision. So we're gonna franchise the shit out of this brand. We're gonna steamroll this as well as we can. We're actually gonna do something that no fucking Puerto Rican has done and try to quantify these recipes. So that way we can put 1 cup of this, 1 cup of this, 1 cup of that, and hopefully it fucking comes out flawless the way that's supposed to. And we're trying to franchise it. We're just trying to get a Secretos in every state, every city, every blah blah blah, because that's just where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Because
so franchising is something you guys are looking at.
Franchising is what we're looking at. We're trying to get Secretos popping off everywhere. So what's the end goal?
Won't be much of a secret after that.
Nah, it won't be, sadly. The end goal is world takeover, bro. It's this. I don't even want to say the sky's the limit, because the limit is ourselves. So however far we want to take it, however far we want to take it. So
that's dope. That is dope. And we're pushing the mark here. So you want to go into Latin night?
You want me to drop it?
It's
Right
on
here?
you. Hey,
Right
this is your
Promo?
baby. This is
All right,
your
bet.
baby.
Latin night, Sunday, January 21st. I turned 32 years old on January 19th, so we're celebrating my birthday too. And the first Latin night that Secretos will be having, we will be having a DJ Sam.
Ooh.
My boy DJ Sam. My man was so nice. He decided to work out a partnership agreement with me. Tick for tat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, your boy
I'm
invested.
familiar with that.
Yeah, I invested a
I'm
lot into the
familiar with
company,
that.
So he was like, you got me, I got you. And I was like, say fucking less. So he'll be here in the building whipping up fine tunes. It's going to be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Once again, Sunday, January 21st. We'll have discounted food. We'll have drink specials. The whole dining room is going to be turned into a dance floor. I'm going to be out there in that bitch. Y'all better be out there in that bitch. I'm going to see y'all there. Shout out to Ish for putting the fucking flyer together. Let's not forget that.
Pay
My
attention
man.
to the flyer.
Pay attention to the flyer. Pay attention to the task. Pay attention to everything. Because if you're not fucking paying attention, then what the fuck else are you doing?
What is
You
you,
know what I'm saying?
doing? All right. So Latin night, is that something that you're gonna be doing? Well, the first one obviously is the best one. It's your birthday.
Yeah,
Happy early birthday.
Appreciate it.
Or is this something that you're gonna be doing regularly,
Try.
spontaneously? Is this
Regularly.
okay?
That's the goal. That's the goal. The goal is regularly, at least once a month. But let's just see.
No need to bring a plate to this Puerto Rican party because we got them all.
We got all the plates.
All the
everything
plates
that you need. Yeah. So we're gonna try to make it consistent, but obviously it's like dependent on the venue space and the people that run the act storing and all that stuff here. We got to see like how well it goes. Honestly, if y'all keep popping out and if y'all keep showing the same love that y'all been showing me, then we'll make this shit happen as often as y'all like. Like this service is not just for me and to make money and to put myself on the map, but it's also for y'all. Because where the fuck else are you gonna go for Puerto Rican food and a Latin night in the same place? And I'm there. That's like the best part about it.
I was about to say the most important. And I'm there.
And he's there too.
Shit. I might get on the DJ booth, start. That's the only thing I can do is press the button. So
I knew he was gonna do
DJ
that.
Sam, let me do that. I'm gonna start doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
bro.
that's dope. Before we go, you gotta let people know, and don't hit me with the bullshit of they're all my favorite dish.
Here we go.
What is your favorite dish on your menu
right now? So the menu's rotating. I don't want to say every season, but every half year the menu's rotating. So for this rotation that we have on for the fall winter menu, my favorite dish is the carne guisada. It's got to be the beef stew, potatoes, carrots, beef stew, sazon, etc. Gotta get white rice, gotta get red beans, and for me,
you're a white rice red bean guy.
Yeah.
And that's why you go by Don Felipe.
Why is that?
Because it's usually the older, more like mature crowd. I like the yellow beans and peas.
Yeah,
I'm still a grown boy.
Yeah,
and I ain't this small. This chair just lower.
Don't let him lie to you.
Like, watch when I stand up.
Yeah,
watch when I stand.
It's not that big of a difference.
So
honestly.
the white rice, red beans,
and I'd probably get a side of avocado. So we're our restaurant, one of the only restaurants in the city where you can get avocado as a side. Usually you got to like pay for it to get that shit separate, but if you want it as a side, you got it. So I go white rice, red beans, avocado, carne guisada, undefeated. Everything that I need right then and there. You probably thinking that you had a plate. You probably wish that you had a plate right now with the same shit laid out.
I would eat. I eat everything. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, bro. It's all fire on the menu. But
Appreciate it.
My go-to is the carne guisada, yellow rice and the peas.
Yellow rice and peas.
With
tostones.
Tostones come on it, right? I gotta get that with the tres leches. You gotta have
undefeated.
The dessert.
Undefeated.
You gotta have the dessert.
Undefeated. Shout out to Zandra. Mikey's boo thing, Mikey's wifey. She is our baker, and she does the
Get
tres
the
leche.
fuck out.
And
That's
flan.
hers?
That's hers. She be
I'm about to go talk to him, bro. I need a sheet of
bro. Listen,
huge.
If you need it, we got it. Who want it? Pull up.
Pull up.
I mean, we about to start delivering like today. So
yeah, you want to talk about that? Did you figure out?
We figuring it out.
How'd you go?
DoorDash, Uber Eats launching. DoorDash launched today. Today is Wednesday, right? January 12th.
January 12th. So when this airs, it'll actually be. Oh damn! It'll be the day on your party. Maybe we'll air yours first.
Hey,
we're gonna air yours on the 14th. How about
Look
that?
at that. So yeah, by the time y'all see this, DoorDash would already be up. Uber is on the way. And then go back to the favorite dish. When we rotate and we go for the spring and the summer, my favorite dish there is the chimichurri steak and onions. The churrasco is fucking fire. I don't know if you had churrasco at the old place, but our churrasco is fucking nuts.
I didn't.
I can't wait for that shit to come back.
I need to design your menu, so
you'll get the intel.
Throw me all the food like ahead of time.
Hey, bro, we got it. We got it. My man, we're locked in.
I'm excited. Well, I appreciate you for jumping on.
Thank you.
It's been a fucking fire-ass conversation,
Thank you, bro. Is this the end? Is this the end of it? I got a couple shout-outs.
Hey, I was going to ask, what's New Age Attire? What is this? Tell us about this.
It is the fucking hottest brand in the city. I feel like you can go there for any they have a storefront in downtown.
We're downtown.
It's on Fifth Avenue. It's like right
party on Fifth Ave.
Yeah.
No, it's Fifth Avenue parties,
Fifth
man.
Avenue shit, bro. We got it on lock. It's right around the corner from Market Square. I wish I had their exact address memorized, but we're gonna plug it up.
Google it.
But yeah, literally Google it, bro. Stop asking me questions and just look shit up yourself. Cause you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take your same fucking question. I'm gonna put it on Google myself, and I'm gonna copy paste the fucking answer. So don't involve me in your shit. Just do it yourself. Anyway,
I'll be doing that. Be like, what's this? I'm like, I'll tell you. Google.
Google.
That's what it is.
My favorite shit to say, bro, when people ask me questions is like, you know who knows more than me? Google.
Google.
So hit them up. Leave me alone.
How did you get connected with New Age?
They just pulled up and they made a shirt for me, dog. They pulled up and they made a shirt for me. If as busy as I am, if you want to get my attention, just pull up on me, present something to me, and be like, yo, you trying to do this, you trying to do that. Fuck the phone call, fuck the email. Old school, bring it to my front door, holla at me, show me what you got, show me what you're trying to do. And we did it. So they made the Secretos New Age shirt. And I was like, yo, like this is fire. Like I need my uniforms for y'all. And I'm like, yo, actually, can we just like collab? Like, can we do like a Secretos like New Age drop? And they're actually working on that right now. So I fuck with them. They fuck with me. I'm trying to like model for them and do all these things, bro. But they are fucking fire. My homeboy Dave and his girl Jill, they own that shit and they run that shit. Check them out online, newageattire.com. I fuck with them heavy. And I also, if y'all like music, you need to go check out Josiah Council. That's JOZIAHCOUNCIL. And his brother Jesse Council, same last name, first name JESSE. Those are my brothers for life. Josiah got a new project, or he got a new single dropping soon. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Clemente Museum. Shout out to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Shout out to Alpha. That's the organization for Latino professionals. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to fucking everybody and anybody that I fuck with. Y'all know who y'all are, and we will elevate together, bro. Just like, let's just keep fueling off each other and let's just keep doing what we do. And you already know where the fuck to find me, man.
Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Secretos PGH.
He just put on his phone voice. You can find me on.
You can find me on Instagram, Secretos PGH, Facebook.com/Secretos PGH. You can find me on social media, but you got to look for that one because I don't really like the publicity that much. But you got to look for that one. You can find me on there too.
Find them or don't find them.
Yeah,
but Secretos you'll find.
You'll find Secretos. And
you won't find the secret though.
Yeah, you won't find them. You know what I'm saying? SecretosPGH.com. And I'm over here on 145 East 8th Avenue in West Homestead, 15120. Wednesday through Sunday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. as of now. And of course, like I'll see y'all on the 21st.
It's right off the bridge too, and there's always parking until y'all change that.
So let's change it. Let's put in an ordinance to get a fucking another parking.
Unless you see me pull up and then leave me a spot because I don't like to walk too far, especially in the cold.
Especially with the little legs.
Damn! Why you gonna insult the host? X, delete, block.
My boy.
But all right, bro. I appreciate you coming on,
Thank
and
you,
this is Felipe with Secretos De Mis Abuelos on the Relentless project.
We out.
Later.
Appreciate y'all.